All right, today we have the Holystone HS440G, taking this guy out of the box for the very first time, and I just wanted to share my first impressions on it. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I just took it out of the box, and look at this case, and I've got the 440D as well as the original 440 as well. And I'm really going to be digging into what the differences are between those in the future, but I really wanted to just share my first impression. Taking this guy out of the box, I just kind of like the case. Nice, somewhat soft-sided case, but this case reminds me of another case for other drones. The handle is nice and soft, but it is firm across the top, so it should protect the drone. So, open it up. You're greeted with the drone itself, and then of course you have your user manual, battery precautions, and then safety guidelines and your quick start guide right in that top pocket. Just below you have your drone, nice wrapped with cardboard here to keep your props and everything in place while in shipping, and then you have your shock mounted HD camera up front. Then inside here, you take this little piece out and you're greeted by a new, different remote, one that I have not seen before. And I think that is really nice. You don't have any external antennas to fiddle around with, which I think this is great that they actually got rid of that. And then you have your phone holder here at the top. One thing about these particular mobile device holders is that you need to have your mobile device without a case or with a thin case. I usually use a thin case on mine because I do fly a lot of drones. So I always want to make sure it's going to fit well. Then across the top here, you see your speed and your camera / video button. You do have one scroll wheel that's functioning. The other one is not functioning. Your on-off switch, GPS, return to home, one key takeoff and landing, and your unlock key for your drone. Flip it over here in the back very easily. This guy, does require 3 AAA batteries that are not included, and that's just fine, just fine. So that's your controller. It looks like you have a nice display here that is covered for shipping purposes to protect it, but it should be providing you quite a bit of information there about the drone, battery life, and distance, and all of that kind of stuff, which is also information that you're going to receive back in your mobile device connected to the drone itself. But it's good that it is on the screen, because you do not have to use a mobile device in order to fly this drone. You can possibly fly it just with the remote. Now, you won't get your photos and video back to your mobile device if you do so, but you will get it will still record into an included or not included, an installed SD card that is not included. So in this box, which is your accessory package, you have your single battery. You have a battery charger, and this is a proprietary battery charger, but it's still very similar to the battery chargers I remember from the 440D and the 440. There may be a little bit of a difference, but it's very similar. But that is a proprietary charger for this particular battery. And the battery does look a little bit different. And then you have some additional props and screws for attaching and replacing your props if you decide you need to. One thing I will tell you about these drones is for all of my drones, and I have tons of them, I've flown them, I've actually even crashed them, and doing inspection upon the props and whatnot in different parts, I haven't had to replace any parts on any of them. Not a single one. As of yet, I have not had to replace props on them. After you fly for a period of time, as long as you're not hitting twigs and branches and stuff like that by mistake as you're flying, then you should not have to worry about replacing your props. They will wear over time the more you fly them, but I have yet to have to replace my props at all. So, just to put that out there. Now, if you decide you want to, you can always just use like a somewhat thick but light rubber band to put around the drone to hold the arms and the props in. Just a tip, if you're not carrying it in a case, or you just want to be able to make sure you keep your props and your props and your arms folded in when you're transporting. Again, SD card slot, and then of course your optical flow sensor on the bottom there. Angle adjustable, shock mounted camera in the front. You have status LED lights on each of the arms. For the most part, and if we take one of the, let's look at the D real quick, the HS440D. Just gonna pull that guy out really quickly just to show you what, in comparison, the drone itself, what it looks like. They look very, very similar. And we fold out the arms. This guy has brushless motors. This one, these motors seem to be brushed motors on the previous version. Your power button has been relocated. So this is the 440D. This is the 440G. Your power button has been relocated. Your battery is different. Your battery's going to be different. It's not interchangeable between these two. Again, you have brushed motors on this guy, brushless motors on this one. And this guy does not have optical flow sensor on the bottom where this one does. These are just some of my observations. The shock mounted HD camera is just a little bit different. You can see the difference here. And they're getting closer, and I would hope that eventually for this drone, because they're both less than 249 grams, I'm hoping that they're going to put a 3-axis gimbal or 2-axis or 3-axis gimbal on this guy in the future and come out with another version. You do have a totally different remote, and it's just a really nice looking drone. This all of them look nice, but it's just a really nice looking drone. And so I'm expecting to get really nice video out of it. We're going to be doing some flights with this drone in the future so that we can determine how good a video and photo actually comes from it. So I truly hope that this helped you out in some way. Be on the lookout for some additional content coming from me on this particular drone, including some flight footage. I really appreciate you stopping by and checking it out with me. Have an absolutely fantastic day, and I look forward to seeing you in that future video.